Okay guys, I've been trying to figure out how to do this video for the last day or two, and although I just recently did a video for my mom, I'm still not quite tech savvy as I thought as it relates to using YouTube, but I have something that I absolutely have to share with you, and it's a little longer than I would like it to be, but it is important that I share it anyway. And I hope that you're able to access it in its entirety. So first of all, I'd like to let you know that I am still alive, thank God. Maybe barely hanging on, but I'm here. And the first thing I want to do is give a huge shout out to my husband as a man that allowed God to use him at the right time to save my life. So I want to share with you, first of all, how I ended up even in the hospital. So as you all know, I tested positive for COVID-19 on the 5th. And so immediately my response was to have everyone around me tested to be sure that I hadn't infected anyone else. Of course, this is before I understood how you actually get infected. And believe me when I tell you, it's not the way that they're telling you. So a lot of things that I'm going to have to share with you are going to be things that are going to be controversial, and they're going to be things that the medical world hasn't shared with you. Not necessarily because they're trying to mislead us, but because they just maybe haven't seen it from this perspective yet. And so during the time that I was sick and going in and out of consciousness of whatever was happening, when I thought I was really out of my mind, I think I was actually being placed in the realm that I needed to be in order to understand the information that I was going to be given. And I can assure you that the information that I was given was not given to me by man. And although I can't explain how I received it, I can tell you that everything that I'm going to share with you is 100% accurate. And you can test it yourself however you need to. And I'm not here to bash any doctors, any medical staff, because I have the utmost respect for people in the field, and I believe that they have their place. And I do believe that they are trying desperately to give us information to save us. But what they are telling us to do to save ourselves is not actually what we need to do to save ourselves, if that makes sense. So some of the things that I'm going to say, I'm sure will be met with, who does she think she is to share that, or to tell us that? And the answer is nobody. Literally nobody special, just someone who God has chosen to share something with from the inside. And it's a very painful thing to have to go inside this way to understand what I not understand. It is not pleasant at all. But I'm going to do what I need to do because I believe that I'm literally commissioned to do it. And I'm going to do it even if it makes me sicker. So first of all, like I said, I wanted to give a shout out to my husband who literally saved my life the day that I ended up in the hospital. So how I ended up in the hospital in the first place was I found out I was COVID-19 positive on the 5th. And then the next day, I literally demanded that everyone in the house or that had been in the house go get tested right away because I just wanted to see how extensive the damage was and how much damage that I had caused other people. At the moment, I thought that was the way it worked. So that's what I did. And the next day, everybody went and got tested. Everybody was negative. And I was happy at the moment, but then I figured a few days later we needed to do it again just in case, the incubation period and all these days that you gotta wait and all that stuff, which I never understood, but I rolled with it. And I told people I was glad they were safe at the moment, but I wanted to be tested one more time in a few days to make sure everybody was still negative. And at that time, my biggest fear was my grandson because The same day that I found out I was positive, I was on the sofa in excruciating pain with a horrible headache that wouldn't let up. And so I took a nap, or I tried to, on the sofa, and he came and he climbed up in my arms and he laid his little head on my chest and he just laid there and looked at me, and it's like he knew I needed his comfort. And I let him lay there, and there was no mask on, there was no social distancing, none of that. It was just us having our moment, our cuddle time, and him trying to offer me comfort. And I was all good with that until I went to the ER that night and found out that I was COVID positive. And at that moment, I lost it. And I just cried uncontrollably because I thought that I had somehow opened my little guy up to being sick with what I now had, not understanding at the moment that that's not at all how this works. The way that they are telling you that you pass this virus is not at all the way that it's working. We are being told that we are safe as long as we wear a mask and we social distance and all of that. And while wearing a mask is not a problem, it's not the solution. It is serving you no purpose whatsoever except for possibly the false sense of security that you get from wearing it, and the false sense of security that you give others who are around you and give you the feeling of being protected. Besides that, the mask does nothing. But I'm not saying to stop wearing them. If you're comfortable wearing it and it makes you feel safer, go for it. It's not hurting you, but it's not saving you from a thing. What is saving you? The only thing that is saving you at this very moment from getting sick, if you have not yet gotten sick, is a fully functional, 100% active immune system that works at 100%. Anything less than 100% and you got a problem. The thing is, we're not being told that, and neither are we being told how our immune system is becoming compromised. Our immune system is becoming compromised every single day by way of emotional trauma. And I need for you to hear me. Every single time you receive a bad news or a trauma that affects you emotionally, your immune system takes a hit of negative energy, and the negative energy compromises your immune system, and it compromises it every single time you receive an emotional trauma that causes your immune system to be affected and compromised. Once your immune system is no longer functioning at 100%, you are in danger. Even if you lose 1% capacity, you are no longer 100% covered. Plain and simple. So, because your body was working for you recently, and it blocked every attempt at coronavirus and everything else that was trying to invade your body. It blocked it the first time because your immune system was working properly. That would be pre-emotional trauma. So your body did what it was supposed to do, what it's designed to do, which is block any and everything that is sent to gain access to take you out. But the moment emotional trauma is introduced, your immune system receives a negative charge and it becomes weaker instantly. The moment your immune system is working at less than 100%, you're in danger. And you will, at some point, allow the entrance of some kind of foreign entity into your body that will eventually take you out. It could be coronavirus, but it doesn't have to be. There are all kinds of things trying to invade our bodies all day long, every day, and our immune system blocks it for us like clockwork all day, every day, and will continue to do that because that's its only job, and that's to keep us safe. You have to understand that your immune system is part of you. So it's rooting for you. It's going to fight for you. It's going to want to keep you safe. It doesn't want to see you fail because it's part of you. So it's going to fight with all it has. But what you need is 100% at all times. And the moment that 100% becomes anything less than 100, that's when you have to worry about what could possibly creep in and gain access, even if by default, due to your immune system failing you. So, I need for you to understand that getting sick or not has zero to do with whether you wore a mask, whether you were around somebody who was sick, whether you were around a room of people, 50 people that were literally on the brink of death from coronavirus. You can be around all of that with no mask, and nothing can penetrate unless your immune system allows it. The key is not the exposure. The key is the immune system that is trying to save you from you. So you don't catch coronavirus from anybody. You catch coronavirus when your body allows it in. And your body will never allow it in when your immune system is fighting for you 100%. Keep in mind that a healthy immune system, anything less than 100% is not healthy, because once you lose even 1% of coverage, now you got 1% opening for something to get in that wasn't let in the last time when your body was blocking every single thing. Now it's only blocking 99%, which means you're open now to 1% of something to be able to get in that didn't get in before. And we are stressing so much about, if I go outside, am I going to open myself up to coronavirus? If I go outside without a mask, am I going to expose myself to coronavirus? Let me go ahead and answer that for you once and for all. Yes, your answer is yes. Every single time you go outside, you expose yourself to it, because you cannot possibly avoid something invisible. You can't avoid something that you can't navigate. If you can't see it, you can't avoid it. That's so simple. So the very thought that somehow wearing the mask is going to keep you from running into coronavirus is absurd in its own right. You cannot possibly step outside and step into a realm where coronavirus is literally everywhere, but you have no idea where, and think you can navigate that. The problem is not being exposed to coronavirus. That's not what's making you sick. What's making you sick is not understanding that your immune system is the one that's doing the work. And you compromise your immune system greatly when you have emotional trauma that weakens your immune system's ability to fight for you at 100%. Please stay with me. My immune system was in perfect condition all year. I didn't have any emotional trauma all year. I had a bad day here. I had some stressful moments, yes. I didn't have emotional trauma until December. In December, I had emotional trauma beyond anything you could imagine, when everything that could go wrong went wrong, including the loss of a parent, the surgery of a spouse, and to getting sick myself with something that I had never imagined I would get. But having said all that, I didn't get coronavirus from anybody. I got it from